criteria to investigate history, then you're not really going to get anywhere. And in your video, we didn't see a criteria. We didn't see any scholarly criteria for how to investigate history. The task that is confronting us is to investigate the historical Christ, and you didn't show any awareness of any of the source material of the time of Christ. You didn't show any awareness of the scholars that have done work on this. In your video, you showed a picture of A.W. Pink's book. A.W. Pink is not a New Testament scholar. He's a great Bible scholar, fundamentalist Bible scholar, but he is not a great New Testament scholar. And I have used, and you use that as a picture to show that you've looked at the scholarship in this area, but that shows that you really haven't looked at the scholarship in this area. A.W. Pink is a straw man. He's not really, he's a great Bible scholar and I love the guy, but he's not in the league of these people when it comes to New Testament scholarship. Okay? So you're behind in that area. Whoops. And so the task is the historical investigation, looking at Tacitus, looking at Josephus, looking at Clement, looking at the Greek dynamizing gods, so-called, looking at their hymns, which I have done, looking at their ancient books, looking at Hume's scholarship. I've been looking at epistemology and the scholars who have commentated on David Hume. It's a historical task, it's a philosophical task, but it's certainly not it's not a task that the way you've described it. You've not engaged in the scholarship that is required on this topic in any shape or form. All you've done is you've used Richard Carrier, Earl Doughty, maybe Dr. Price. You've used them uncritically, and Bart Ehrman in an uncritical way. And the issue really is a historical issue of how we understand the historical information, and maybe a debate about miracles, alright, philosophically speaking. The other issue, the third issue, is about worldviews. It's important to note that everybody looks at history in a biased way. Everybody has got an agenda. Ancient historians had an agenda, the gospel writers have an agenda, atheists have an agenda, Christians have an agenda. This is a key book on this issue, okay? This is hermeneutics and understanding knowledge in epistemology, okay? That's by Continuum Impacts, okay? So everybody's got an agenda. So we're all going to look at history in a biased way, and we're going to interpret the facts in a biased way. So part of the issue is whose worldview is best in understanding the facts. Now, your worldview, Dan, you failed to present a hypothesis. You failed to present a workable hypothesis about the facts that we know. We know for sure that Christ died on a cross. This is undisputed, alright? Mainstream scholarship does not dispute this. We know he died on a cross. We know he was buried in a tomb. We know the disciples saw visions of Jesus. We know all these things. So you have got to come up with a credible hypothesis of how your theory fits these facts, and you have not done that. You've not even begun to done that. You went off on a tangent with the Mormon stuff, which is irrelevant. You've got to look at the facts about Jesus and give a plausible explanation about those facts. Now, the miracle that we're saying that Jesus rose from the dead fits that information, and because it's in a religious context, we know also a fact that Jesus saw himself as the Son of Man. which goes back to Daniel. He quotes this more than anything, and it's a historical fact. Scholars accept this, that he saw himself as the Son of Man, which tells you that this was in a very highly charged religious context, which gives you the God part, in the sense that when we know that Jesus rose from the dead, we know it was in this religious context of a certain understanding of who Jesus thought he was, coming as the Son of Man.